Hello everyone, how you going, and welcome to OSHA, the place where no one seems to have heard of safety first, last and always. You know, these people have taken, well, I guess you could say the interesting approach to their jobs and whatnot. And so, yeah, it's led them down some very dangerous paths. Well, let's jump into it. This smoke detector I saw at work. Oh wow, that's as though someone just ripped out the panel around it. That's impressive. I guess those roof panels are just held up by those tiny little curtain wires or whatever you want to call them, the little tension devices. But the fact that that's basically just being held up by its wiring or whatever you can see up the top there. I wonder how that even happens in the first place, / how that's even been allowed to continue. Usually in job places, no matter where it is, the fire systems, everything are always, first priority in everything. They get replaced immediately, anything wrong with them, the upkeep of them is second to none. So to have something like this just sitting out in the open, oh yeah, dangling off its wire and barely connected to the roof, I'm surprised that's even been there. I'd love to know how long that's been there for, because it seems as though it's holding up all right. Even though those tiles aren't made of anything, it seems to be giving it enough support. I wouldn't have even thought you'd be able to put a smoke detector onto those tiles unless it's got nothing to do with the tile and whatever the orange box on top and the wires or everything. But really, it's just impressive because that's clearly just the most sturdy part of the entire roof panel. So maybe you just want to put the entire roof as smoke detectors. This just happened. Whoa, man. This is what's happening all over there. Looks like they're carrying, massive steel plates? I don't know. It looks as though there's a lot of metal in the background there, but wow. I wonder if you hit something or you just suddenly put them the brakes if you were driving along, and so it slightly shifted forward and over you went. That's crazy. Really, I'm just amazed that that forklift hasn't tipped back onto its wheels because they're so heavy at the back. You'd think they're not that big, but really they weigh 3 tons or something like that. But yeah, I guess you've just extended enough up on the jib that when it's fallen over, it then won't fall back over. It's tipped over past the point of no return. Jeez, but hopefully no one got injured in this. It would have been a hell of a bang to drop those plates from that height. That is crazy. But yeah, I feel as though someone maybe have lost their license. Definitely something happened from this incident. My boss says, don't worry, there's a ladder on site. Good thing I brought my own. Oh wow, that's a building site ladder. Damn. I didn't know what to expect. I thought it was going to be more like an old rickety wooden ladder, but no, that's just one that's up the side of a building. And they've just tied it to, I guess, an exhaust pipe or something. Oh, but don't worry, they've safetied it off here, see? See this bit here? That's a safety right there, so you're all good. Nothing will happen. If this fails, then it'll just fall back 4 meters, catapult you off, and then it'll snag, and then it'll catch the rope, and then rip out the roof. You'll be fine. But wow, that's impressive. I'm surprised that the ladder wasn't removed when it's obviously structural pieces was removed. It looks as though they've just been grinded off or something, so I don't know why that ladder's still even there. I'm sure the ladder itself is still structurally fine. It's just thick steel. It's not going to go anywhere for a very, very long time, but it has to be attached to something. But I guess what am I saying? These guys have attached it to something. Just the exhaust pipe. It's slowly cutting it in half, but that's alright. The rope chokes itself to death. Yeah, this is too often the case when there's tools and equipment on site. Yeah, no, I think this is why I will bring my own tools, thanks. That looks expensive. Ooh, a good old concrete pour. Look, those guys brought their own ladder, it seemed. Oh, wow. Oh my goodness. Oh no. Oh no. Oh my god, that just kept getting worse and worse. The entire concrete floor went out from under them. That's crazy. Wow, I guess what is it, the concrete preform, the plywood and whatnot that gets put under it to keep it shaped just gave way. That is ridiculous. They're so lucky that their part didn't collapse as well, only that back part. I love the guy, you can see him here. Where is it? As soon as it starts going, look, the guy that's on the hose control just jumps onto the hose. He's holding on for dear life, and so you would. My goodness, of course he would do that. Everyone else madly scrambling away. Hopefully there was no one under that, because that's concrete, regardless of whether it's solid or not. It's hella heavy. It was as though someone just suddenly decided to sift the flour through a sieve and all of it just went away. And yeah, wow, they were so lucky. God, and I wonder whose fault it was, because they would have had a hell of a thing to deal with after that. I wonder if it was these guys or if they had some other contractors come in and do all the other stuff first, and then these were just the pourers. Because man, that would be a doozy to deal with. You'd never want to go back to your job again after that happened. You just wouldn't be able to trust anyone. But yeah, geez, glad no one seemed to have got injured in that. Nothing is wrong here. Wow, no protection at all. He doesn't even wear his mask. Oh, then that guy's just got a face mask. What's he doing? What? Dude, how are you still seeing anything? He's got his safety squint on. He'll be right. Yeah, no worries, mate. They're all in the same shirt as though this is at a school or something as well. They're teaching this kind of practice. That's ridiculous. I love how the guy in the background seems to be covering his eyes with a face mask that's on his hand every now and again. Just, oh yeah, I'll use this. Oh man, but the guy actually doing it though gets nothing. Usually people seem to be pretty good with welding masks. It's often hearing and eyesight that seem to be the most avoided ones. But welding, oh my goodness. What are you even doing when you're not wearing a welding mask? Do you even know how hot that is? Maybe they don't know. Maybe this is the first day and they went, oh no, we don't teach you any theory or safety. Straight onto the welder, thanks. Here you go. Out you go. Go weld us up a frame. We've got 50 of them to do by the end of the day. Wow. And he wasn't even wearing his mask. Look, he had one piece of safety equipment on. Not that he's going to help him in this situation, but I guess it's PPE of some sort. And he wasn't even wearing that. People, please don't be like this guy. Every time it rains, water pours from this light. Wow. I hope that is an LED and I don't know, soldered in, because how is that not just trooping everything every time it rains? I'm surprised it's just even still working. Also, I wonder where this is, because I was wondering what seemed wrong with this picture, and it's red exit signs. I don't know where it has red exit signs. In Australia, they're all green. So yeah, I was just going, what looks wrong here? I can see there's an exit sign, but it looks strange. But yeah, the fact that it wasn't like, oh, look at this light that suddenly started leaking. No, every time it rains, this happens. We've reported it. It's been 4 years and nothing's happened. That's when you know they really care. Oh yeah, well, there's a contractor coming. They'll be here soon. Oh yeah, then as you said, it's every time it rains, eh? You gotta walk under the shower just to get into your apartment. I mean, I'm fairly sure, at least I saw on Mythbusters, that electricity to get passed through a stream is very difficult, because if it has any kind of break in the water, then it's almost impossible. And even then, it was really hard. So you should be alright, but it's definitely not good. Chips are on fire under the machine. No one even cares. Oh wow, I wasn't expecting chips. I was expecting this to be a wood chipper or something, and there was a chips or wood chips on fire underneath it. I was going, geez, that's not going to be very good if the entire truck and everything else goes up. But no, actual just normal chips. This must be at a chip making factory or something. How is there a chips on fire? That one looks like it's glowing metal. It's liquid chip right there. And how does that even happen? It looks so hot. Where is that come from? What chip is that hot? I mean, I guess you did say it was on fire, but still, how is it even able to be on fire in the beginning? Maybe this is a machine that's a big oven and whatnot, and just on a conveyor belt cooks them all, but this chip's name was Icarus, so it flew too close to the sun. I mean, but to be fair, it seems as though you're in a chip factory or some sort, unless this was just at a restaurant. I've completely overlooked that fact, possibly. But either way, if it's not your responsibility, you should probably tell someone if no one seems to care, or you should do it yourself if you're an employee, so come on now. Someone broke the emergency switch for this CAT scan and didn't bother to report it. Oh wow, someone just put a little bit of medical tape or whatever that stuff is over it. Yeah, it should be right. Someone knows how expensive that machine is and they didn't want to cop the slack for it, so you know, they just, oh yeah, just sticky tape, but no one will notice. It'll be alright. The person was thinking, oh well, I've never had to use it, so you know, it'll never need to be used. I don't even know how you'd break that, because look at it. It looks as though it's completely enclosed and unsnappable. E-stops are usually pretty darn strong as well, so that's a hell of a feat to be able to snap off an e-stop or break it or whatever you've done to that. Something got really rough when you had to turn to un-e-stop it, and so yeah, they just completely snapped off. I mean, that's the thing with e-stops, no one ever wants to have to use it, but they're definitely there for a reason, and I can think if you did a Google search of e-stop and the rates of injury ever since they've been implemented, I'm sure there would have to be a correlation there. I don't know if you asked me if I would have said yes, there's an e-stop on a CAT scan, but I guess it makes sense, you know, you got moving parts and all the different types of magnets and whatnot, so yeah, it's probably a pretty important piece, and hopefully you reported it then. You weren't just like the chip person who went, oh, no one seems to care, so I don't seem to care either. Should be right. Someone else will fix it. I don't want to cop the slack for this. Who needs a boom lift? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That's a hell of a thing. Man, changing a light bulb or something. Oh, it looks like he's got a paint tin, actually. Man, with the scissor on the footpath, with a ladder, picking out of it. That is some Dodgerino stuff. At least there seems to be an alert watermark on the actual image as though it's an instructional image of what not to do. Please do not do this, ever. That is so ridiculous. I'm almost surprised that scissor's still staying up, because the amount of side force on them, you know, that looks like it's an indoor scissor for one, not an outdoor scissor, and they're outdoors. And so they have even lower wind ratings and side loadings than an outdoor one. So for that ladder to be resting on a 45-degree angle with a guy at the end of it, that'd be a hell of a side loading. And the thing is, as he climbs further and further out, the side loading would be even more and more. So if he got all the way to the end and then suddenly it was too great, everything would be all gone. Then, you know, what is he going to grab onto? The scissors going to go over everyone. Oh, it's going to be a horrific accident. He's so far up. He's what, 10 meters up or something. So yeah, wow, that is a sketchy maneuver. Everything about this just would have been easier with a boom instead. Oh man, I can't believe you even did that. That's crazy. Posted on a walk-in freezer door at work. All you can eat ice cream at the small cost of your life. Caution, keep door closed, slippery floor. Warning, inner handle broken. Do not shut door with anyone inside. Oh my goodness. Totes need to be out of the way and organized by time always. By the warning, inner handle, but do not shut door with anyone inside. That's crazy. Yeah, because like they said, you'd survive, but I don't know how long for. Hopefully you got a hell of a jacket on. You can eat ice cream for breakfast, lunch and dinner for the rest of your life and you will be fine. But like the title said, you know, it's just at the cost of your life, so that'll be alright. That's a good deal, isn't it? But yeah, hopefully they don't need to keep that door open too long and just have all the cold air just rushing out for hours, because I think you might have to check into that. I think you might have a few things defrosting if you're just going to have a massive door open for hours. That's not going to be too good, let alone the actual door handle that you might just want to get fixed to solve the whole problem. Where there's a will, there's a way. I mean, yeah. I can kind of get behind this one / see where it's coming from. It makes sense at least. You know, you didn't bring your big gumboots today. I mean, even though it looks dodgy, it's actually probably one of the least unsafe things that we've seen, if that's even a double negative sentence that's understandable. You know, the excavator's not going to fail from the weight. He's completely lying down and he's nice and comfy. So unless the excavator goes completely AWOL, then nothing should really happen in this situation. Now, obviously, it's still not a recommended situation, but I don't know, compared to Ladder Scissor Man and some of the other ones we've seen on here, I would do this in a heartbeat over anything else that we've previously seen. And it's even an articulating head, so if he needs to do swirly patterns, he just has to hold his hand down and he can draw circles and write names and anything in there, so it's super easy. Really, it's just genius in every way. Imagine going to work and that's your job every day. I ride an excavator around with a hand trowel leveling concrete. That'd be so much fun. The thing is, if he was wearing a harness, it would probably be signed off on, so yeah, no, what's the big deal here? Of course I did the pre-starts. Oh my goodness, wow. The fact, I've never seen an excavator completely fail like that. Usually they're the strongest thing in the room. That's incredible. That must have had so much rust in that one particular point or whatever, and you must be lifting some serious heavy loads or trying to jackhammer or pick up something that it just was not capable for. That would have made a hell of a bang. The amount of pressure and everything behind those pistons and in those oil systems is absolutely monumental. You would have got the jolt of your life sitting in that bucket seat. But yeah, like they said, you know, oh no, they did all their pre-starts, they worked around. Any rust damage? Nah. Any line damage? Nah. Tracks look good? Yeah. Any cracks on the piston? Nah, should be right. So yeah, I can imagine no one got injured in this, or at least hope, because it's so far away from anyone else. But still, it would have been a hell of a bang to happen with that just suddenly snapping. Imagine the entire arm going. Nail gun on a stick. Wow, how does he even firing the thing as well? That's impressive. So there's a will, there's a way, like the other post. Now look, at least he hasn't got some shonky ladder and he's trying to do it up a ladder or leaning over something or anything. You know, if anything fails here, all that happens is a nail gun falls or tips over, compared to him being on the top rung of a ladder and falling off it from 6 meters or something. And the thing is with most of these posters, it wouldn't even be those person's fault per se. You know, they've been told from their boss, okay, we just have to go up here, we have to do this, that, or over there and over here. And when their boss has scoped the job, there hasn't been any kind of, you know, thought about how it's going to be done. Oh yeah, mate, we can do it, no worries. Yeah, we'll get it done. And then you get to the job site and you have to make up some random way to get the job done. So yeah, none of these things are good, but often I'm looking at these and I'm almost assuming that it's not their fault and that's what they were told to do. So yeah, really, where does the blame go? Dangerous at any speed. Oh no, cover your load better than that. Get some tilt-up trays, please. It's pretty much a there was an attempt kind of post, you know. They tried to cover it up to make people feel a bit more safe, but really it's doing nothing. Everything to just fly out the back, take out windscreen tires and everything else in between. The amount of car damage every year that must be caused by rogue rocks off the back of trays and whatnot, you know, of utes and truck, they would just be crazy. All because people either don't have the right tool for the job or just can't be bothered doing what they should. I definitely know most people tend to very quickly divert from being behind anything like this because, yeah, who wants to have to deal with that? And I don't know about in other parts of the world, but you can get fined for it here. So, you know, that's definitely a thing that people try to avoid. And, you know, no one wants to get fined. So, yeah, they're pretty good about it. I don't see very many. Most people do have at least sides on their tray if they're going to be carrying any kind of bricks and rubble or whatnot around. So yeah, just don't live in a place where this is legal to do. I'd like to see the training manual for this. Holy moly. Look at that thing. That is crazy. That reminds me of Buzz Lightyear with Woody behind him. How is that a thing? How is that a machine that is allowed to exist? That is something out of Mad Max or Mars Attacks. I don't know. That thing is crazy. I've never seen anything like it. I guess it makes sense and it's way quicker than having to individually prune every tree. But it's just massive spinning arms going crazy. You basically have two horizontal helicopters is what you've done here. This is the kind of machine that will take over the world if it had an AI, really, let's be honest. Does anything else in the world exist that could come close to matching this thing in a fight? I don't think so. I guess realistically what it's reminding me of now is those miniature robot death battles, whatever they're called, and this is just a massive version of that. So yeah, I'm steering clear of that thing. I do not need to go prune any trees anytime soon. Thanks for the tip. Please do not turn off the light switch. It also operates the elevator. What? How are you running all the elevator power through the light switch? That's impressive on its own. See, so many of these things are just people realizing that there's probably going to be a massive expense associated with fixing it. And everyone just puts up with it even though they really shouldn't be. I mean, hopefully this elevator isn't a typical elevator. Maybe it's a little one on the side, or even maybe a disabled stair lift or something. For some reason they did it that way. Regardless of what it is, none of it's good, but I'm just really hoping it's not a full-blown normal lift that goes up and down stories. You know, imagine if you're 60 stories up and all of a sudden it just goes down because someone decided, oh, I don't want the lights on, or I do want the lights on. You know, you ring someone and you go, oh, so can someone please turn the elevator back on? What do you mean turn the elevator back on? Oh yeah, you know, turn on the lights. What do you mean turn on the lights? How are they connected? No, everyone's just going to think you're crazy. No one's going to be able to help you. That is definitely plenty of people's worst nightmare, is being able to have a lift turned off on them while they're in it. So yeah, fix it please. Gaming RGB Fury X circuit breaker. Wow. How is that thing even still alive and not melting the whole circuit breaker? That is a lot of power going through that cable. There has to be something wrong with it. What are you drawing? You know, you can see the mains power in the background with its double sleeving grey cable, and then that one's just taking all of the mains power straight into number 2. You're really overloading that circuit, aren't you? You're probably running SLI 3090's with a thread ripper in there, just drawing about 15,000 watts. Imagine being an electrician and being called out to this. You know, someone rings you up, they go, we've got this kind of burning smell and our power's being a bit weird. It keeps tripping. You go to the board, you open it up, and suddenly you need sunglasses because you can't see it. This cable is just illuminating the entire room or wherever you are. You wouldn't want to even be near the thing to try and fix it. Hopefully you can turn it off of some sort, but I don't know how it hasn't tripped or even melted through. It's almost impressive that it's still functioning. I mean, it's amazing that it hasn't melted through, so quality components have been used, but then on the other hand, very low quality components have been used because it's just not tripping. You know, it should know that all this extra power is being lost somewhere along the line. It's just scary to think that these things exist in the world. Me, boss, the pressure gauge is looking a little high. Boss, ignore it. We need to keep running. 4 hours later. Oh no, see, that's the biggest I told you so ever, especially to the boss. See, and this goes back to what I was talking about before when I was saying that the boss or the engineer or other people above people are often making these calls, and so people are put in situations where they go, okay, I gotta listen to the boss. Even though everyone's always taught, no, report everything, don't listen to your boss. Often you hear stories of people losing their jobs just because they spoke out against stuff. Man, I don't know what that is. That almost looks like glue with some sort of plastic, but to get that out of all that componentry, that's gonna be such a mess. Even if you can, I don't know how do you manage that. You gotta reheat the whole thing and try and melt it all off, deconstruct the entire machinery. Oh goodness, that would be such a waste of time and money, all because they didn't listen to you. Hopefully your boss isn't the big boss, so you got a promotion and someone got sacked. And the top of the month for OSHA, safety first, blast and always is. I live by this. When you just have to sit down and admire how badly you stuffed up. Oh, guys, look at them. What are you going to do? It's not like a motorcycle where you can just flip it back over. I really don't even know how they manage that because it doesn't even look like there's much in that loader to begin with. And so, you know, it's not overloaded or anything. Unless they suddenly just sunk into the ground and so it tipped over. I just am bewildered at how it even happened. It almost just looks like a little ant or a beetle or something just capsized, unable to get up. But hey, look, even though it would have made a hell of a racket, I'm sure there was a few yells and cursing surrounding it. Those 3 guys all look pretty unharmed, so yeah, I don't know about this one. I reckon there was a couple others in this subreddit that could have been a bit higher. But that is going to do it for the top of the month of OSHA. Thank you for watching. If you did like the video, don't forget to do the YouTube analytical things down below, like liking and commenting. Tell me if you see any of this kind of stuff at your workplace. Other than that, I've been posting a lot of these videos, so maybe you want to stick around and have a look at some of the other ones. Or, you know, maybe even consider subscribing and helping me out so you don't miss another one in the future. But all in all, have a good one and see ya.